What's going on, everybody? We're back with another show. Welcome back. Sim Sports Real Talk, episode number 8. And right now it's just me solo. Gedden's running a little bit late. So welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all the supporters out there. You know, all that good stuff. We appreciate all the love and the guests that are out there who've joined the show. So hats off to you guys, and thanks for being part of the Sim community. So we have a great show tonight, episode number 8, ocho, okay, like cinco, ocho, ocho, cinco. We have 5 topics we're going to go over tonight. The show always goes different directions, so don't be surprised if we go any route that the show takes us. And we got a lot going on. Tonight, so we're just chilling. But I'm riding solo, man. I'm riding solo. So you guys in the chat, it should be on. Chat should be going. So hopefully you guys are there. Yep, you guys are all good. So I can see you. Let's get this thing started. All right. So the first topic today, we have a lot going on. As usual, it's football season. The Buffalo Bills played in a game that was ridiculous. The snow was up to their necks. The lights, it was just so dark. I couldn't even watch the game like without being super bored with the way that it is, because it was just craziness. So hopefully you guys can see me. I don't see myself in the bottom here, but hopefully you guys can see me okay. I'll check the chat, make sure you guys, if you guys can see me, let me know, because I don't know if I'm on or not. Let's see here. Whoops. All right, somebody in the chat, if you guys can see this, let me know, because I'd like to see if all right, cool. Thanks, bro. All right, so we're good. Everything's set. All the AV stuff is worked out, and we're gonna get on with the show, man. So Gedden should be on shortly. I put an invite out there for Lex Marston. He has played a lot of Madden connected franchise mode, and that's one of the topics that we're going to be going over today. Rex had a tweet. Rex Dixon, good old Rex, had a tweet asking on Twitter if people had any modes or any features from the CFM that they'd like to request for Madden 19. So we're going to dive into that and talk through that a little bit. We're also going to get into a few things that have happened in the news. One of them was the NBA 2K18 taking down customizations. So we want to get into that. It was on Twitter. We went back and forth a little bit, me and a few guys. And I think it's a good topic to discuss, especially with where we're at with the NFL license being secured by only one company. I think it'd be nice to get through that and talk about what kind of options we have out there for gamers. And yeah, I'm representing Buffalo as I usually do. We won last week, so we're still in the hunt. So that's good news. Good news. The third topic that we're probably going to get into is the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch has been doing very well. It's sold 10 million units to date, so that's a lot of units. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. And then also one topic that I thought was interesting was about sports games on the Nintendo. And then lastly, we're going to get into the Devin Hester retirement news that came out today. He was a great punt returner, kick returner, and so I think that's something that we want to dive into just a little bit towards the end if we get to it. And then, like I said, if Lex can come on, then we'll talk about CFM, but we'll also get into, I wanted to ask him about a game that I used to play called Hot Shots on the PS4. If you guys out there have played that game, then, you know, feel free to chime in the comments. But I love that game, and I used to be a big-time Tiger Woods player. I would rank high up in the charts online. And it started diving off after like 08, 09, started to get, you know, I started to play it less and less, but I played it all the way through to the last one. But Hot Shots was always a game, just like a game called Super Mega Baseball that you guys have probably heard of. They're coming out with a version number 2, by the way. hopefully next year. And it's the kind of game where you look at it on the surface and it does not look or feel, when you look at it, doesn't look like a simulation game. But Hot Shots was very, very competitive, and it was a game that I really loved. And there's a game out called Everybody's Golf, which is the next version of Hot Shots that I bought for $20 during Black Friday. And I haven't even opened it because I really haven't had time to play it, and I want to know if it's worth even playing. So we may dive into that because I believe he's played that game. And if you guys in the comments have played that game, feel free to leave your thoughts on it, because I'm wondering if it's more of a social game, or is it something that like the older previous versions where you go through an entire career and you go from one tour to the next tour to like the pro tour, the semi-pro tour, and you work your way up with with unlocks and new equipment. And I love doing that. I love the grind. I love to be able to unlock items and feel like you're getting a reward for your work. So we'll get into that if he comes on. If he doesn't, we may still talk about it. If you guys in the chat want to hear more about that, let me know. This is typically a football, basketball, baseball type of thing that we do here, but I'm open to any sport, and I'm not biased, man. I want to see it all. So yeah, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and dive into the NBA 2K18 taking down the customization. So this came out, I first saw this by Pasta Padre. He tweeted about it this past week, and I think it was this past week. Yeah, it was 12/6. So I guess it was, within the week. And basically, NBA 2K18 they said they're on the 6th. They said they're taking down all of the custom shirts that are depicting real brands. Okay. And based off of that conversation, we had some tweets that went back and forth between Lex and I think Lob Mob was on there. I'm going to pull up the tweet now so we can see that. I'm not sure if you guys are going to have a chance to see it or not, but I want to just pull it up so I have it here. But anyway, so that was something that came through, and basically what they're doing is they're seeing a number of designs that are in NBA 2K18 where custom shirts are being designed to look exactly like copyrighted material. And when you have a game and you allow that type of feature in a game where people can make adjustments like that on the fly, then you do run into some treacherous waters, because on one side of the coin, and this is a huge debate. I mean, I'm not an attorney. I don't know the law around copyright licenses, but I can tell you that if you're a company like 2K with 2K's money and their magnitude, you do not want to mess around and deal with lawsuits and just burn money on legal fees when you have shareholders to please and you're trying to make money. So there's no incentive for 2K to have to release any kind of editor that allows people to do this type of stuff. From a financial perspective, they don't have to do it. They've won the battle, at least for now, in the basketball arena, because they put out a sim of a product as we've seen in basketball. So they've gotten the crown at this point. And hey, what's up, Gedden? Can you hear me?
Yo, what up, Javo? Yeah, what's going on, man?
Hey,
sorry I'm late.
Man. Hey, no problem, man. The show just started. We're moving. We're on the first topic, so perfect timing, man. Perfect timing.
Excellent.
It's all good. It's all good, dude. So we're talking about the NBA 2K18 and them taking down custom shirts because in their storefront, because people are designing them with real brands. And so that was in the news this past week. There's an article that I can probably put it up here if you guys want to see it. You guys want to see that? Let's check it out. I'm going to put it up. Throw it up, right? Let's throw it up. Let's throw this bad boy up. So I'll go ahead and do a screen share here so you guys can check it out. So besides that, man, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been all right. I'm on I'm actually on vacation right now. I'm on a home vacation last week in December. Me and my fam, we're gonna fly out to see my fam and other parts of my lady's fam at the end of December. So right now I'm on vacation. I don't go back to work until January 2nd. Wow.
Oh wow, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
That's
I
a
had all
nice
these
vacation.
vacation. Yeah, I had all these vacation carryover days, so I had to use them. If you don't use them, you lose them. So I'm using those right now, and I am feeling great. I'm
Awesome, man.
feeling
That
real good.
that reminds me of when I used to work at the university because we would let's go back to this real quick. We would always get off present to everyone. There we go. So you guys should be able to see it in the chat now, but we would always be off for like 2.5 weeks. They shut down right around now, like maybe in the next day or so, and then we would be off until after the new year. I mean, that was some good times, and you never know. Maybe I'll go back there at some point in my career. We'll see how this game works out, but I still have some friends there that I talk to, and there's always opportunities out there. So hopefully, hopefully I don't have to go back, but we'll see. So, anyways, here's the article. As you can see here, the players can create custom shirts in my career mode right now, and basically, what's happening is people are creating shirts that are based off of different brands. And so what happened was when that came out, we had a little bit of back and forth on Twitter discussing, is it legal for companies to be able to put out editors that allow gamers to build their own content? Whether it's copyrighted or not, you have one side of the argument that the company who produces the game, they're not the ones building that content, right? So in theory, they're not releasing a game with the content loaded in. Now, they're allowing the tool to be out there and they're hosting these on their server, which I think is the part that we'll get into. But a lot of us want a game that's not Madden, right? We want a game that has customizations. And this is a great topic, I think, for this show because it can dive into companies and previous games that have done editors where we've customized the games, and why didn't they get threats or any kind of legal issues with this copyright stuff? So that's pretty much the article there. If you guys want to read it, you can see it on the screen there. And why don't we go ahead and kick it over to Gedden and get your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, yeah, I haven't heard anything about this, so this is very interesting to me. And as soon as you brought it to my attention just now, I thought the same thing you thought. Like, if people are making whatever content, if it's very deep with the customizations and it allows users to express themselves in any kind of way, even if they're copying other brands and logos or whatever, is it legal or illegal? Well, I think it's perfectly legal, but obviously these other mega corporations like Nike or any of the sports corporations or any corporation at all, they have a lot of money and they have the best lawyers. They will sue the crap out of 2K, even if it's wrong or right. They will make sure that just having this feature will probably give them, a living hell and bad promotion and all this type of stuff, bad publicity. Right? You don't want to piss off any of your sponsors that are doing in-game marketing as well. So the like say Mountain Dew, somebody's making fake Mountain Dew shirts, but everybody's downloading that instead of going through the game and uh, enjoying the Mountain Dew t-shirts that way. They have different style Mountain Dew t-shirts. Mountain Dew will get upset at that potentially because 2K didn't pay extra for that. And with that, then they'll be like, well, we're going to pull out our Mountain Dew sponsorship for 2K or whatever licensing that you're using. We're going to end that and we're going to go maybe to your competitor. The same thing could definitely spill over to the NFL if 2K chose to do a football game, a custom football game where users are creating NFL teams. The reason why I think other companies might not have gotten sued, like say Backbreaker, right? Backbreaker was a prime example of their editor being very powerful, very deep. And then you had Rate Sports come in, shout outs to them, and create all the NFL logos perfectly. I think the reason why they didn't get sued is because it was one game. I'm pretty sure it didn't make that much money. It was not popular. And plus, on top of that, it had very bad publicity. So if Backbreaker continued, who knows what might have happened? But if I'm going to speculate, and my girlfriend was just telling me about a corporation type of lawyer legality type case load or case that she was telling me about. And yeah, these corporations, some of them are good, but then some of them really think about their money, and they're not going to allow anybody to take anything from their bank. They want to make as much profits as possible. The CEOs and the COOs will lay off families before the company goes under, or they lose their bonuses, so to speak. So yeah, I could definitely see how it could be problematic. Now, I'm not siding with 2K. I think if you're going to allow people to make custom shirts, then hey, you should allow everything that goes along with it. But it's not just 2K. You have other corporations that will come in and slap whatever fire out of 2K's ass just because they're allowing users to do such a thing. I mean, if these corporations were smart, why not team up with 2K? I mean, maybe they could do some kind of they get some kind of percentage off of VC. I'm not, we're not we don't like microtransactions on this show, but if they teamed up and they got a percentage, they can make money off of those custom t-shirts. I think 2K is just playing a safe route. You had Minecraft on the PC, and people were creating all sorts of branded logos and characters. And what did Minecraft do? They worked with, for example, Nintendo. A lot of people were making Mario and Super Mario characters within Minecraft. Now you have Minecraft on the Switch, and it's very popular. It made a lot of money. That type of business is much better. The users get rewarded, the company gets rewarded, and the third party gets rewarded. I think they should go about it like that instead of just taking it down. But 2K is probably playing the safe route.
Yeah, I mean, you want to, just like everything else. I mean, listen, we haven't gotten another football game, right? There's a reason why we haven't gotten it. They're trying to be smart with their money. We talked about it last week. We talk about it almost on every single show we do, that the 2K guys, they have a great engine, and for some reason, and we know why, the NFL, they don't want to put a product out. And it's that same mentality here in a smaller scale, but they're having issues with somehow something happened. God knows if a company reached out to them. I used to work for a reseller, and we would do things on our website. I worked at an e-commerce site, and we would put things on our website, and if a manufacturer didn't like what we did, you better believe we heard about it. Or if we had an MSRP that was too low compared to the other, they have things called it's like a maximum or minimum advertised price. So you have to have a minimum advertised price for their product so that no other company can look like they have a better deal, MSRP, right? And then when you click online and you go to, if you were to click, how when you go online and you look at a product, it's like click here for the real price. So the price before you click here is what they call a minimum advertised price. And I remember, as an example of this, that corporations would be like, HP would say, hey, listen, we saw you have this, we would get a list of all of the violations that we have. And that's a small scale situation. We're talking about a game that sells millions of copies, right? So this thing is globally, right? It's a global thing, right? And it's also something that can come back to them in many ways, especially with the NBA being involved and a big player like that and those kind of licenses, whatever else they have on here. They also have TNT, right? And TBS, or, whatever the sports channel contracts they have. But basically what the article goes through and talks about is that people have, people actually were seeing their shirts taken down, or shirts that they had purchased being removed and disappearing. So what they would do is they would start complaining to 2K that, hey, listen, I spent my hard-earned VC on this, and all of a sudden it's gone. So they've had to deal with a little bit of that PR back and forth customer service aspect, where people are asking for their money back and they're getting partial refunds from what I'm reading here. And it's more of a, what it is, just like always, just like with Madden, you need to treat your customer. Oh, I just hit this thing. If I touch it, this boom arm thing, if I touch it, man, it just wants to go. I just hit it. So this thing starts creeping up. I don't have any ghosts in here. This thing just wants to do its own thing. But the bottom line is that, what I was going to say at the end was that you have to treat, like I've always thought, customer service is number one, right? You want to treat your customers with the ultimate service, and I think that's the best way to go. That's the motto for success. And if you do that, no matter what it is, even if you lose money on a deal or something happens and you have to eat it, you need to treat the customer, for the most part, unless you have a customer that's just crazy and irate. But typically speaking, 99% of the time, the customer is right. You take care of your customer and you will be rewarded in the long run, period.
Yeah.
That goes back to every time we talking to you, Madden, talking to you, EA, think about your customers, not yourselves. Okay. That's a message to Rex Dixon.
Rex Dixon.
Speaking of Rex Dixon, by the way, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to say, since we were talking about NBA 2K, I've been playing a lot of head-to-head matches with my one of my homies that he's a 2K football fan just like I am, but he's very married to the NFL license. So he didn't like all pro football, but he loved all the 2K football games before that because he was a big Marshall Faulk fan. He was a big Broncos fan, so yeah, I had to deal with all those NFL 2K teams back then, playing versus against him in college and, all that type of stuff like that. So we play NBA 2K now, and he's getting back into NBA 2K. So me and him will always go back and forth. I've been kicking his ass now because I understand how 2K has changed. And not only that, I'm strategizing against him. I just wanted to bring up the coaching methods that you could put into NBA 2K is so extremely deep. Every time when I'm playing it, I'm learning something new. And this is without, of course, looking at guides from other streamers or other YouTube people. But yeah, the depth in NBA 2K head-to-head matches are as out of this world. You could do all these settings per player, coming off screens, on ball, off ball. You can have you could play your players tight, loose. That's always been in the game, but it means a lot more now in the game. They also give descriptions of what certain actions do per player. So just to give you an example, you have all these is at least maybe 12 or 13 different ways to play defense, different areas. So, not different areas, different, different areas in basketball, right? You have the pick and roll. How are you going to defend that? How are you going to defend if somebody drives in, and are you going to ask for help? If a player is dominant on offense, is it okay for a certain player to leave his defensive assignment? All stuff like that. It's so much. You could have your players playing in the lane, right? And that's your team defense. Then you could go into each player and pick how they're going to play defense with all those same settings. It's insanely deep. When you press pause when you're playing head-to-head, they give you 2 minutes. That needs to be rethought. So something needs to happen there because, you go through all those settings and you're strategizing. You're going to need a lot more than 2 minutes, especially if you're playing against a random person. I really love how deep the game is. Now imagine that same depth in a football game where movement actually matters, position actually matters. In Madden, they do have some defensive settings, but it's nowhere near as deep as this. And again, they give you an explanation. They give you the pros, then they give you the cons of doing a certain setting. It's amazing. I love it. You want to talk about sim gameplay? That's true sim gameplay.
What game are you talking about again? I missed the game.
NBA 2K18.
Oh, that game. I'm very familiar with that game.
Oh, that game. That phenomenal game that people hate the VC, but it's still a great game. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. NBA 2K18. But they've had a long time to build their engine, so they get that pass from a lot of people, right? So, it's
right.
A bunch of horse.
You know what? Of course, it's a bunch of horse shit, because you know who's been making games the longest? EA Sports. Whenever
Exactly.
I'm gonna say his name, whenever some F-ball critic, whenever they say, "Oh, 2K, they're so ahead, they EA, we have to give them time, blah 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 blah." That's so much horseshit, right? Two reasons. One, because EA actually chose not to go into the 3D realm before anybody else. They had the chance. They chose not to. Dumb decision. Think about that. At the turn of events, how games went from 2D, you're forever living 2D sprites. They're beautiful. I like that art style as well. But they went from 2D to 3D. EA looked at that and said, "Yeah, no, we're not going to do that." What? So they put themselves behind. But EA's been making Madden since when was the first Madden? 94?
Madden?
When was the first?
No, it was before 94. It was like 80 something. It was in the 80s.
80 something. Okay.
88 or 87, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, where my mind was. But yeah,
94 was
yeah.
like the Sega. 94 was more like the Super Nintendo and whatever Sega Genesis time frame. When they had the clip on the side.
Yep. So they've been making Madden forever. So whenever SimF Ball, Smitty, or anyone say, "Oh, 2K has they've been ahead so long because they've been making football, that their engine is stronger, it's been out there longer." No, really, EA should be the leaders of this. They choose not to lead. They choose to collect a profit while making their game cheaper and making another area in their game highly profitable, but no real R&D is involved. No research and development is involved with MUT. MUT is never going to change. It's not going to get much better. They're going to MUT is nothing but UI, user interface. You don't spend that much money on user interface. It's just design. It's not much coding that goes into MUT. So it's a lot of horseshit. But anyway.
Well, I'll tell you this, there's always a lot of coding when you're building something, that. But I mean, as far as what we want, no. And then let's get into that next topic, because somehow, and that's the thing I was thinking about, like I see, this is a random thought here, but I'm just going to bring it up, because why not? We're running this show, and anybody who wants to come on, join us. You guys are in the chat. I see you guys. What up? Like you say, what it is.
YouTube, what it is.
Yeah, I love that. I missed your intros with all that bass you had going on. You're like, boom, boom, boom. What it is? It's your boy Gedden. Yeah. I'm back. Anyways,
yeah.
What was I going to say? So I was going to say something about EA. Oh yeah, no. This is what I was going to say. So it's funny because it's crazy because I don't even want to talk about EA on this show, but it's because they're the only football game that's a current next gen title that we bring them up all the time. And I get
is it really next gen now?
No, no. It's on a next gen system. We can call it that, but the code is trash gen if they call it. There's a So No. What I was going to say was that, you know, you have these, I look at YouTubers out there and people that are on Twitter, and the people that talk about Madden and show Madden, and no disrespect to Ryan Moody, you know, he and I are cool. I love the guy for what he does, but there's a reason why people who make Madden videos out there, they bump up their stats like that, because everybody wants to see Madden, wants to hear about Madden. People like myself, you don't see Madden on my channel. And if you do, you see maybe 1 or 2 or 3 videos. It's very scarce that I put Madden on there. And there's a reason why I don't put it on there. It's because the game is not what I want. But I know that if I wanted to, just like we've talked before, I can probably create, and so could you. You probably could do more than me, Gedden. You can put on Madden right now while we're having this show. And by the end of the show, you're probably going to have 20 videos that you can put on YouTube for the month, because it's that prevalent of an issue that the game has so many flaws. And it's like, number one, I don't want to waste my time with something that's obvious. Why am I going to waste my time with that? First of all. Second of all, if you don't like the game, why would you even waste your time and your life that's not infinite, right? Why would you waste your time on that game? Which brings me to my final point here, is that why do we continue to waste our time? Or is it a waste of our time? Maybe that could be a topic for another show. Is it a waste of our time? We asked Smitty that question. I've asked the Sim Standard guys that question. Is it a waste of the sim community's time, okay, to think, talk, put any ounce of energy into a game or a company that has let us down time and time again? It's like you're holding on to that old girlfriend that keeps, you know, cheating on you, and you're like, nah, she'll be okay this year. 20 years later, it's like, dude, you gotta move on. And if you don't move on, all you're doing is wasting your time. Right. That's the way that, you know, some people might take it. But I don't know if you have any comments you want to make on that. That was more of just a random, you know, thought that I had, because whenever we bring up EA, my blood pressure definitely goes up. There's no doubt.
Right. Well, yeah, I think that it depends on what's your avenue. Again, you know, much respect to Ryan Moody. I think that his work ethic is damn near second to none. The points, the topics that he bring up are very valid. They're very substantive. And, you know, he does his thing. I read in the comments. Every Ryan Movie video that comes up, I always go through the comments and I read them. Maybe not all, but I definitely read through some of them, or even the majority. And people do say, I'm not buying this game. I'm glad I did not buy this game. Thank you, Ryan. Even though Ryan won't come out and say, hey, don't buy Madden. I wish he would, to be honest, if I'm going to be 100% frank. But that's my stance, right? I can't force my stance on him, what he's doing. Obviously, you know, he has way more subs and, you know, whatever. He has great work ethic. But yeah, I think his goal is to make Madden better one way or the other. But how I see it, Madden would never be the simulation game that we want it to be, because it never was. Even Madden 05, even though they had movement, much better running animations, and the running felt actually like you're running, it was still a bobblehead experience. I'm mumbling today. I don't know what's going to be today. But yeah, it was
not on vacation. That's what happens when you're on vacation. You get some of that liquor.
I guess so.
You know, you're sipping that drink.
Something like that. But yeah, so to me, Madden was never a true simulation or experience of the NFL or football. You know, it was just a pick up and play type of game. These plays that people run, they're not the same plays, but that's the same way people played Madden back then. Find a play or find a route to break the game, or find a player to break the game. So that's what people do now. It's funny how people have been playing that same style of football or gaming football for as long as Madden went over to 3D. You know, it's stifling. It's almost like a phenomenon that the game still sells something, even though the core gameplay has not changed. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want to make your videos, and as long as you have a point to, and there's a cause for it, and if it's the right cause, like customer awareness, or like my cause, don't buy Madden. I think you should still make Madden, but you shouldn't be making Madden with the same thought of, oh, they're going to see my videos. They have to see my videos. My thoughts, or the people who subscribe to me, our thoughts, they're the ones that are really, really important, because for whatever reason, EA does not think about them. That's like the Game Changers program. The Game Changers program is a facade. It's a placebo. It's not to make Madden better. The only people that are going to make any changes to Madden are two groups: your tourney players and the casual MUT players. That's the only groups. The sim gamers, the gamers who want a better game, even the connected franchise mode guys, they're not going to make any changes to Madden, no matter how many videos they make, because EA does not want to make those type of changes. They don't want a single player experience. They want a multiplayer experience. The reason why is because multiplayer games are much cheaper to make. They're more profitable than a single player game. Single player game, you have to have voice acting. You got to write a script. You got to do not just the core programming, but you have to do all these other programming elements. Yeah, they have a single player experience in Madden, this past one, but from what I saw, it's very lackluster. But yeah, going back to the main point. If you want to make your videos, go ahead, but just know, yeah, EA ain't gonna look at them and be like, yeah, we missed that idea. Yeah, they have hundreds of people coming up with ideas. They have people. They have a direct line of sight right towards the NFL if they want to make the game more like the NFL. They do not want to. They want to make the game an easy pick up and play, casual experience with very little sim elements, and very, very profitable. Very profitable. I'm pretty sure Madden's cycle, just looking at it, is a 6-month copy and paste type of thing with a couple of new features. 6 months, maybe 9 months. It's not even a full year, I don't think. Yeah, but I'm not a programmer, so maybe I'm talking out my ass, so I don't know.
Well, EA is definitely they're working. They're just not working on the right things, and they have plenty of people there. They keep. I mean, I look at their. I have them on my phone on Glassdoor and LinkedIn, and they are always hiring brand new developers and artists. And I know that they're moving with Madden. They're just moving in a direction that we don't want, with people that are not as talented as we'd like, and their focus is not what we want. Not to mention the fact that they are working on an engine and a game that is rooted with issues. They've transplanted it into Frostbite, hoping that they can gain more out of it, which is fine. They're trying to at least do something. I'm sure there's some kind of contractual or some hidden agenda that we don't know about. That why would they go to Frostbite? I guarantee you, when they were having that conversation, they weren't like, what can we do for the sim community to make their lives better and make a better game for them? Let's go to Frostbite. No chance. They went for other reasons probably, and God knows what that is. But the bottom line is that they're working. It's just not on the things that we want, and they're working with a game that doesn't take a year to make. They need to go to a parallel dev cycle, or hide for a few years, or go to that subscription. I was going to say transcription, subscription model, and they have updates. And then behind the scenes, they're building a brand new game that may take them 2-3 years to make, like another game would make, like a Call of Duty or those bigger games that are out there, like the Battlefronts. They probably take years to make. They don't think they take one dev cycle. So the excuse that we only have one dev cycle when you're a multi-billion-dollar company is less than adequate. It's not acceptable. We as a community and as your customers for the past 30 years or whatever it is, we demand more, and we're sick and tired of it. But let's move on to the next topic, because we have a lot of topics to discuss and we never get through it. We also have Gonzo Star, who wants to jump on. He just joined the chat. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in and see if he can introduce himself and see what he wants to chat about. But I do want to get through these topics as well, so we'll kind of cut through and get you on here. So let's see here. Let's get you presented. Gonzo, can you hear us?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Can you hear him, Gedden?
Yeah, what up?
Hey,
What's
what's
going
up?
on, Gedden? How you guys doing? You guys, I'm real good. I'm pretty good buddies with Gedden and Loud Mob. Gedden is Gideon. I mean Gideon. We usually on the Online Nation Radio, Blog Talk Radio and podcast. And I'm usually on the Sim. Well, I used to be on the Sim Nation Hangout. My thing, like I said again, Madden. I kind of left Madden alone. And one of the turning points for me with Madden was when I remember when Ian Cummings was over at EA, and they made, I think, Madden 09, and I think they made Madden, whatever Madden came after 09. It's like they almost had the same exact game. Like the only new feature that they had was game flow. And I knew then, I'm like, wow, like they really changed nothing after 1 year except for game flow. Like you said, Madden 2005 was probably the best Madden. Probably had a little more movement. You could shove guys on the line. It's just, I think the road that the sports gaming is going down now is that it's going a little less away from simulation based. And the reason why is because of modes like Madden Ultimate Team, in NBA 2K, My Team. You got the Playground, you got the Pro-Am, like all of these different modes. They really cater to casual gamers. So they're tending to flow in that direction now. And I think that the sim gaming community, I think it's a great community, but I also think it's the minority in this case. Even when it comes to like NBA 2K, like when I play NBA 2K, like 2K was going in the right direction, but one thing I noticed with 2K, they do kind of the same thing that Madden does, and this is most companies. I've said this in the past too. Me and Gideon Prime have talked about this. That it seems the higher up a company gets, the less they are concerned about their product, and I think it's just because of mass production. When you usually got an independent gamers and like new companies, when they first come out, they actually treat their product with care. They really want to make an impression on you with their game, so they strive to make the best game possible. That's one of the reasons why NFL 2K5 was $19.99 when it came out, and it was so good because they wanted to make an everlasting impression on the community. They were pretty small. They weren't at Madden's level quite yet, so they wanted to stand out. Now we're seeing the same thing with NBA 2K. We're seeing the same thing with Madden. They're at the top of the mountain, and they care less and less about the product because a lot of people call NBA 2K sim. I question NBA 2K simulation. Yes, they have a lot of plays, but if you dive deep into a lot of those plays, you'll see that, yeah, you're running plays, but they're sucking you into screens and animations just to make that play work, to make it give you the illusion that the play that you're choosing is a good play, when really it's not. It's just animation manipulation. Balls going through guys' chest. What's another one? Well, you can warp through a guy's body to get a rebound. Shooting is very scripted. This is one of my biggest problems with 2K. Real quick, this is a problem. I have a problem with this one. How can a guy have a blue circle saying he's cold at the beginning of a game and he's never even taken a shot? A player in a basketball game doesn't even know he's cold yet until he's missed at least a few shots first. You can't just start off a game cold. You have to miss some shots to realize, okay, I'm not as hot as I thought I was going to be tonight. I'm not feeling it yet. You have to miss first.
I'll tell you what,
would have you come out.
Manute Bol back in the day, he was cold coming out, no matter what.
I mean, maybe so.
No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm making a joke. That's a bad joke, man. Nobody laughed. I thought I was going to be funny. But people come out cold. I came out cold at times playing basketball in high school. But, you're right. You don't know until you hit that first shot. And when you hit that first shot or miss it or brick it, then you realize, hey, am I cold? Am I going to have a hard day? Am I going to be? But you're right, man. You don't know until you take that first shot. That's a perfect point.
And that's one of the reasons why I really don't. I don't stream Madden. I really stopped playing Madden altogether. It's just, I'm not going to give any of these games any publicity because they're not deserving of it. NBA 2K, Madden, they're not deserving of it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, we have to take a stand. If we want a better game, we got to stop purchasing it. We got to stop spending our money on it. We got to stop spending money on VC. 2K alone, you can buy 2K, but I can almost guarantee you, if we stop buying VC, the game will change. I can almost bet if people stop buying Madden Ultimate Team, buying packs and things of that nature, without just stop buying the game. Just stop buying all these microtrans. Stop with all the microtransactions. I can almost guarantee you'll get a better game.
Well, I think you make some really, really good points. I've been playing a lot of NBA 2K18 as of late. I haven't noticed that. I remember they did do that one year with the you start off cold some players, or you come off through a half and it'll be like a random player be cold. I haven't seen that yet, but what I do see is people as soon as they get blocked, they'll get cold. Some defenders have that ability. If they block your shot, they'll make you go cold. But if they make you go cold, oh, is he there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh no, nice, not muted. Okay, but yeah, going back to my point, I know that if a player gets blocked, they get that cold icon. Also, when it comes to Madden, I'll just say this: only when it comes to EA, because 2K has proven some things really positive about their work ethic. Yeah, I think their game is getting very big. I think they have way too many employees at the moment, and their quality is kind of lacking. This is the first 2K that I remember where their patches have come through and they haven't addressed some real bad issues when in terms of gameplay. They'll address other things rather than gameplay. But I know this, microtransactions have become huge within this year and last year, or even a year before that and year before that. Let's just say 5 or 6 years. 5 or 6 years ago, Madden was still trash. The only thing that's going to change Madden, even if people stop buying it, they have to have a new philosophy in gaming. I think that EA's philosophy in gaming, especially when it comes to sports gaming, is to make a casual game that's easy and pick up and play, because we don't want to go after that simulation market. Yeah, we'll say simulation to get some of those guys, but we really want the casual gamer to come in and buy our product, because we know there's way more casuals than there are people who actually give a damn about the genre itself. Look at any of their sports games. None of their sports games have any signature movement by any particular player. I think if they just started to get some of the signature running styles in FIFA, but I'm pretty sure I'm mistaken about that. Pretty sure I'm wrong about that. I think EA's philosophy, that's the thing that really needs to change. As long as they make some kind of profit, there's no way they're not going to make any profit off of a game that they're just copying and pasting. There's no way. Same thing as Call of Duty. These games that come out yearly, they're literally pasting and copying or whatever. They're not reinventing anything. They're not going back to the drawing board and totally reworking something to make it much better. You don't have to spend money on that. You just update your roster or whatever, and you got a new game, essentially. So I don't know. I think EA really has to go back to the drawing board as a business before anything, and I really doubt if EA is ever going to do that.
You guys can hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you good.
Oh, okay, cool, man. I'm sorry, guys. My internet my router just went out, and I didn't know what happened, so I had to go kind of just reset it. But so yeah, so we're back on EA again, huh? We're talking about EA.
I guess so. Yeah, I was just giving a couple of comments to Gonzo's points. He came up with some really good points.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that you think about EA, and EA is a game that at least a lot of us played when we were young. Like if it's in the game, it's in the game. And that game and NBA Live. I loved playing NBA Live when I was younger and in college and everything. And that game. But you know what? You love you until you see. I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I'll offend people. But basically, if you have never tasted it or never seen it, then what are you missing? Right? 2K wasn't around back then. We didn't really know any better. right? We thought that, oh, wow, you can actually play football on the screen and it's entertaining. And wow, we love it. And we didn't even know. I mean, I didn't realize what was casual versus simulation. I mean, simulation for me back then was maybe like I don't know, some kind of a rocket type of game or some weird, or you know what it was like? It was like those airplane games, like the flight simulator. That's what I would think of when I would think of simulation. I'm like, that's cool. I used to do it. I used to go on my computer, get my joystick and be like, okay, I'm going to be Mr. Air pilot. I'm going to take you from one location to the next and simulate it. My brother was crazy. He would actually sit there and do the full flight for like 3 hours. I'm like, dude, you're nuts. But that's when, see, simulation, and we've talked about that, and I know that Sim Standard and those guys have talked about it too, that there is, and plenty of us have, there is definitely a gray line, a gray area in between what's to simulation to the point where it's so much that it becomes boring. It becomes work, it becomes, now I'm flying an airplane across the country and I'm sitting here bored for half the time. And so there's definitely, we have to remember that these are games. They're video games. They're meant to entertain us. So what we want from EA is they're nowhere near that gray area. They're way too casual. And by the way, they're not even, I wouldn't even classify them as even casual. I would classify them as running a buggy product. Seriously, the game has so many bugs and so many flaws that it's, even if it was made to be casual, it's a buggy casual game, right? So I agree. That's the biggest problem. I mean, that's the number one problem that I think a lot of us have, at least to start with, is like we see way too much just wackiness going on in that game, where you have players flying around, you have these illogical motions and movements, and I wouldn't even call it sim or casual. I would call it broken. And so let's get past the broken. That's why we're so mad, because the game is broken. Start with making the game work on whatever type of simulation or casual theme you're going after. NBA Blitz was casual, but the game wasn't broken. The game didn't break. So they're definitely beyond, I think, that conversation. And Gonzo, I'm sorry, I missed the last part of what you were saying, but so I just kind of just went off on my own little thing here with EA. But you have anything else that you want to bring up? And thanks for coming on, man. I know that we talked about it last week, so we definitely welcome you to the show. Gideon has said some good things about you, so you've been blessed by the Godfather, and so you're always welcome anytime, man. So anything else you want to discuss? You want to hang out? Whatever you want to do, it's up to you.
Oh no, I can hang out. That's fine.
All right, cool. Let's go to the next topic, because time flies when we're on this show, man. We love doing it, but we have families, and we also want to do some things. And Gedden's on vacation. So let's keep this moving, man. We have the next topic is a big one, and we've already talked about EA so much, but God, we can't get away from EA. So let's see. So the next one's going to be, I'm going to share my screen for you guys. I'm going to try to introduce it really quick, and then I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So let me go over to present my screen. All right. So hopefully you guys can see this here. I think you can. So this came out literally, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 hours ago. It was 12:30 p.m., 12:27 p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time. At least that's when I replied to it. Rex Dixon sent this out at some point. And I don't know if you guys can see it fully. I'm going to go ahead and try to bring this one up and zoom in a little bit, and then I'll kind of see if I can scroll up and down. There we go. That's as high as I can get. But Rex Dixon at the very top, he basically says that, let me go up a little bit. He basically says, asking the community, what are the community's top? He doesn't even spell communities right, by the way. But anyways, because he needs an apostrophe there. But what's the community's top franchise mode requests for Madden 19? So what he's asking us, what features would you most like to see added to Madden 19's franchise? And
wait. Can I stop you right there just for 2 seconds? 2 seconds.
Go for it.
Now you have to dissect EA and their PR. What are the community's top franchise requests? He's not saying what are the community's requests. When they say top, they're only going to add 2 or maybe 3 features into connected franchise. And that's what he means. That's what he means. What are the top? No, top. You have to overhaul that whole mode. What are you talking about? The top feet? No, you got to redo that whole mode. And people are, of course, eating at it. Oh, they're gonna do something with connected franchises finally. Yeah, okay. They're gonna have 2 or 3 features, something old to come back, and there you go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm trying to get my chat back up because I lost it when I went away. But yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, let me just tell you a quick story. I'll be quick, and then you guys can go for it. You guys can read these comments. They're on Twitter. If you guys don't, didn't see them today, go to Rex Dixon's account. Check this out. Lex Marston was going back and forth, and he was sharing. And like Lex always does, I give Lex props. I mean, he made a quality documentary on ESPN 2K5. I mean, that was beautiful. I wish he could do one on APF. I heard he's doing one for college football, NCAA. But he always gives a very, honest, professional, feedback. He doesn't get too in the weeds with negativity. He tries to keep it in the middle lane. And, he responded with a lot of his feedback. I mean, he gets Madden. He plays it with a very unbiased, open-minded viewpoint and perspective, and he gives his quality feedback. And the story I was going to tell you real quick, so you guys check it out on Twitter. I'll probably leave a link to it in the description here at some point, but and I'll actually probably leave one in the comments here when I get a second. But bottom line is that I was talking to a guy, my neighbor. He works at UCF, University of Central Florida. Go Knights! They went undefeated so far, I believe, on their football team. But he works in the marketing department, and he's a teacher for marketing. And I asked him for fun, because I'm making a game, and I asked him, hey, how would you recommend marketing this game, just to hear his opinion? And he basically went on to tell me how companies market their games, and how all these companies are really trying to do is get their product into more people's hands. And they're not doing it by making a better product per se. They're doing it by gathering influencers. Remember how they changed the Game Changer name from Game Changers to influencers, right? Yep. All they're trying to do is find people that have it's all about connections, like a spider web. They're finding people that have X number of connections. They don't call, not that I would take their phone call, but they're not going to call me on my account and say, hey, Javo, let's go to you because you got 1,000 people. No, I appreciate everybody on there, but they're going after the guys who have the views, have the connections, have those viewpoints, and all they're doing, and this is what he said. So let's listen to this. He said that all that they do is, number one, they find those people. And what they do to those people is that they actually incentivize them. Think about it. If you're an EA influencer, you know what you get to do? You get to come in and be behind the scenes and look at our code and think that you're going to actually be part of the game and think that you're involved. But you know what EA, the devil's going to get back? We're going to get all your subscribers who are sheeps, basically, all your subscribers that follow you like a herd, and we're going to get those guys to buy our game. So thanks for coming. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for being, for taking a stake and being, what's the word? I don't know. There's a word I was thinking, but having a stake in it, basically. But really behind the scenes, we know what they're doing. They're trying to get more views into more people's hands. And so that's what this all brings me back to, is like, let me ask you for your requests. And you know what Rex did after that? He probably walked away, got a drink, and copied and paste.
You think? Yeah, you're right. Council, what you think?
Well, I kind of agree that that's the direction that most of these gaming developers and companies are going with. It's just a trend now. That's what they do. They're looking for influencers. Let's look at, and I use NBA 2K as an example because if anybody in the 2K community knows, it's the same process as even Madden. I'm gonna give you an example.
Yep.
2K has a thing called Team Up every year. I think it was last year and maybe some from this year. They're only going with the YouTubers who have at least nothing less than 100,000 views. So, and last year, 2 guys I know for a fact, they were heavy into streaming RPG games. Well, because they posted an NBA 2K video, you brought them out to Team Up.
Yep.
But you won't give guys a look like Gideon Prime. You won't give guys a look like Lob Mob. You won't give guys like Little Spaz 57. You won't give guys you won't give these guys a look who are actually that are looking for to fix the problems that just in the game in general. They're going to get people who can influence more people to watch more videos just so they can go and purchase 2K.
Yep.
It's the same thing on Madden. Madden brings people. Madden has always brought people in, but it's not so much to change. They'll make you pat you in the back and say, "Yeah, come and look at the game." Like you said, check the code out. Look, this is what we're gonna do. And then when you get the game, it's the same game from last year, and you didn't streamed it about 1 million sometimes. Now they just got more people following and willing to go buy it because the power of influence is something else. If you force feed some people enough stuff, they'll begin to believe it.
Well, listen, it's the masses. The masses are constantly being tricked by all sorts of tactics. When you have the masses out there, they're just, like, okay, well, hey, it's the NFL. It's the only game I can buy. You know what people do? You got to think about it. We always talk about this from from the perspective of sim gamers, right? But you know how many moms right now and how many aunts and how many, uncles, whoever are going to the store and saying, hey, little Johnny wants a football game. They're at Target, right? And they're like, okay, all right, GameStop. What football game can I get? What's this? Hey, yo, daughter, what system do they? Oh, they have the PS4. What football game can I get for the PS4? Oh, you can get Madden. Okay, here you go. Most people don't even think about what we think about. Like the masses are those people. Those are the people that are trying to, just buy something for their kid. I think that's the masses. I think the simulation crowd are the ones that are more of a niche group. But I also think, as I said in the videos, I know, Gedden, you agree, that if you create a simulation game, then everybody wins because the mom who doesn't know any better, who's walking into the store and buying the NFL product, she's still going to buy the same product if it's simulation. The kid's going to have a better time with it, but we don't have to worry about, but the problem is the EA, they're not going to put the effort. We know all of the reasons behind that, and they're not going to actually have to do anything more than just put a new stamp on it, put a new roster, and they're still going to get the mom. They're still going to get the masses to go buy it. The people who are educated, the people who actually know the history and appreciate the fact that we had a better product and we had a better engine. Even with Madden, Madden 05, it was a better product at some levels, So we've seen better products, but we're also experienced. We're experts when it comes to this product line. The masses, they're not. So they're going to eat whatever you feed them. So sorry, Gedden and Gonzo, you guys didn't get to finish, but I just wanted to chime in and share that because that's the bottom line. The masses are going to get taken advantage of, and we have to sit here and suffer.
Yep. I agree. Great points. Great points. Great points.
You have anything to say on that, Gedden, or you're good?
No, I'm good. What was the main topic?
The topic was Rex Dixon asking about what features do we want? What features do you want? I'm going to ask the panel, what features do you guys want for Madden 19 CFM?
$100 goes to the first person who say a brand new engine.
And and that's funny because I was just about to say that, a brand new engine. Like I swear I was. Like I could care less. Like right now, you can change all the stuff in connected franchise mode, but the gameplay still going to be the same. We still have a problem. It's just that simple.
Yep.
The gameplay has to be fixed first. And I think they keep bypassing that. It's like we could care less about XP points for players that you're training in connected franchise. We could care less about halftime shows. We could care less about cap space and things of that nature in connected franchise. No, fix weight and size. Anytime I see somebody make a YouTube video and they put all punters on the offensive line and they can still block like 350 and 370-pound linemen, that's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I saw a guy do this the other day, and if you check him out on YouTube, his name is It's Reese. He went to NBA 2K and he put he made a team full of 5'7" guys and rated them all a 99. He took a team of 7'1" guys and rated them all zeros. Would you believe that the 7-footers, even though they rated 0, they were still able to keep the game close? But he went to NBA Live, and put all the 5'7" guys to 99 and put all the 7-foot guys to zeros. and the 7-foot guys lost like 30-0. They didn't score a point because the ratings matter.
What? That's insane.
I mean, it's retarded to do, but it's like the point I'm trying to make it. You see, the thing what he did was he was just showing you that, and I think he might have done it in Madden if I'm not mistaken. I seen quite a few people do it in Madden. It's just that the ratings. This is the beauty of NFL 2K5. If anybody has never played it, this is the beauty of the game. The graphics was decent, but it's the gameplay. I'm gonna give you an example why. If you had a cornerback like Ty Law on the right side, you have to be very cautious about throwing to that side because he would knock down the ball. He might pick it off. You had to be very, very careful throwing to a side where there's a good defensive back. You had to be very careful. You had a defensive end who was an excellent pass rusher. You would have to account for him some way in that game because the good players played like they were good, and the mediocre players played like mediocre players. Right. It felt very realistic. You're not going to find some guy on the line who's rated as 77 and he's going to be blocking 99s on the line. It's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It was realistically based. It's what you see on TV. We know it's animation, and we're not saying it's exactly like TV, but in the sense of they treat the stars like stars. They treat the good players like the good players. And they treat, like I said, they treat the mediocre players like the mediocre players. My problem with the games today is that there's no respect for height and weight. That doesn't matter. And these ratings they put in the game, they really don't have an effect on anything. It's like they're there for eye candy. Oh yeah, he's rated 99. He's gonna be really good. And you play with somebody like JJ Watt on Madden, he looks like a 62. You can't get through the line with him. Even on a guy who's rated a 0 on the offensive line. That's crazy.
Yeah, defensive lineman for so long. Recognition in Madden for so long. I remember back I don't know, maybe it was, can't remember which year it was. It's funny too because I made the whole Wu-Tang Clan as a football team, and they got so many members. I had just enough players to make a full football team. So I had Ghostface Killer. The whole team was 99 basically. RZA was quarterback. Ghostface Killer was the fullback. I had Method Man as a wide receiver. All types of craziness. But when I'm playing the game, they're all 99s going up against regular teams. Exactly the same. I was like, what's going on here? I'm playing random franchise mode. So I totally understand what you're saying with the ratings. I just didn't think K was like that. Now I want to test that out for myself. I want to create a whole team or just change the ratings of a whole team, put them down to 0, and I want to play a game against a team who is all 99s and just let the computer go at it and see what happens. That's kind of crazy.
Hey, I know if the user. I got a question for you, man.
Yeah, what's up?
Random question. I just want to know, where'd you put Raekwon the chef?
Raekwon was either. Raekwon? Where was he? He might have been. He probably was on defense. I probably had him as a linebacker.
And ODB. Where'd you put ODB?
ODB might have been the running back.
No, I was thinking he should have been the running back. He's a dirty bastard. Running back, bro. Sorry, I had to just ask.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace, man. Life's too short. I know, random question, but hey, had to ask.
Why not? So
that's right. Hey, listen, I'm going to show you guys real quick on the screen while we're here. I'm going to show you the tweet. I want everybody to see this because I want everyone to know who watches this show and who follows it, and who'll see it again. Last 2 shows ago, I asked Smitty to get Rex on the show, and he said, go ahead and invite him. So Rex Dixon, AKA EA, whatever you are, Puppet, come on the show. We'll be respectful. When you come on the show, we'll be respectful. I'm a man of my word. We will be. But you better be respectful back. That's what I'll say. And if you guys look at it here, you'll see, I'm saying, hey, please, join us. Come on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And, we want to talk to you. We're the Sim community members. Maybe some people may not even want to do that because we know that he only has so much pull and weight. But I want him to come at a community that's not contracted by him in any way. We don't have any NDAs. We don't have anything, and your hands aren't in our pockets, and we're not in yours. So this is a very even keel, hey, come out here, free forum. This is the invite to Rex Dixon. So anybody out there, like Lord saying, come at me, King Javo. Come at me, Rex Dixon. Come at us. Come at the sim community. Come at Gedden. Come at all you guys. I'd love to have that kind of a show, and I want to hear his answers when we hit him with the real questions. And I don't want to hear, we'll hit him with the real ones, and we'll see if he comes on the show. Clint Oldenburg, you're welcome as well. Ian Cummings, if you want to come out of the dark, come out. We'll talk to you. It's all good.
Where is Ian Cummings, by the way?
You know what's funny? I'm going to tell you this. I sold my I had an Apple laptop that I had put on like Craigslist or something. I don't know. This is probably like 7 years ago. And come to find out, I go and I meet this guy, and I'm sitting at Starbucks or wherever we met. And, I sit down, I'm waiting for the guy. He comes in, long hair, everything. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. You're Ian Cummings. And the guy was Ian Cummings, man. So I sold my laptop.
No, shut up.
I swear to God, true story. If he ever sees this, he knows. I sold my laptop to him. My battery was dying, so he might have got a bad battery, but I sold my laptop to him. And I swear to God, that was after he got either laid off or he left EA. But I live in Orlando. I live right down the street from EA and
Right.
Or Tiburon. And so it was just a crazy coincidence that I met him, and I told him that, 2K, I told him right then and there, 2K5 blew Madden out of the water. And I'm like, that game's going. And he had some bad things to say. I mean, he didn't get into it too deep, but he was very much on the same boat as we are in terms of the fact that the game and the leadership, like he had enough. He was fed up. And Ian Cummings, we all have our problems with Ian Cummings, but you guys have to know, just like Rex Dixon, he is just a puppet. So Ian Cummings, I don't even blame the guy, and I don't even blame Rex Dixon. I blame Rex Dixon for the way he comes at people. I don't like the way he acts like like he's a big shot because he played football. But that's a whole different story. But the fact of the matter is, these guys don't have any power. They're just guys that go to work, try to make a paycheck for their families, and come home. But the bottom line is, they want a simulation game, probably just as bad as we do, but they can't. They have to play the politics. They have to say what they are told to say and behave the way they are until they get burnt out and they quit like Ian Cummings, or they get let go, and then they find a new person to grind in their machine and then spit out.
You bring up a good point, and this is what I've been kind of saying for like a very long time. As I alluded to before, Madden will never change until the philosophy change. When the philosophy changes, then you'll get a different game. And the only time when companies change their philosophy and how they do business in any market is when the CEO or owner is dismissed, and the council or the shareholders vote them out. The president. So it really depends on if that ever changes. But I really think EA with Madden and all their sports titles, they're going to really stay the same, especially for the environment that gaming is in right now. Gaming is nothing but poor single player experiences, barely tested games, microtransactions out the butt, and copying and pasting. A lot of games are like that. But the funny thing is, when a company actually goes all the way for a single player experience and making their game good, they actually do get. They might have some microtransactions in there, but they do get rewarded. Mario Odyssey on one system outsold Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 sold 800-something thousand units in its first week. Mario sold about 1 million. So that's insane if you really think about it. You got one system on one game that's on one system, the Switch, very hot right now, but you have a game that's on 3 platforms: PC, I believe, Xbox, and PlayStation. It only sold 800-something thousand. That's crazy. That's insane. But that's a multiplayer game. That's what EA wants to do. They've said publicly that they think the single player genre is dying out. Players, most people want a multiplayer experience. Their philosophy is biting them in their ass, and I really hope it continues to bite them in the ass. I just wish that nobody would get laid off. And I know this is EA we're talking. They're gonna look to lay off, their interns, or not their interns, but their hired interns and their grunt workers, so to speak. Not to disrespect anybody, but they're gonna look to lay those employees off instead of the CEOs and the COOs and whomever else take pay cuts or get fired. It's always from the bottom up, unfortunately.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. One thing you just mentioned real quick was that everybody's golf. I mean, you didn't mention it, but I'm thinking what I was thinking about that game, Everybody's Golf. Okay, I talked about it when we first started the show, and you really you hadn't joined yet, Gedden. And that game is the successor or the new version of Hot Shots Golf, and I loved playing Hot Shots Golf. And I haven't opened the package yet. I haven't had time, but I haven't turned it on yet because, going to your point, I don't want a social game. I don't want a game where I'm sitting there talking to people. I don't talk to people in my real life. I don't want to talk to people online. You know what I mean? I don't have time for that garbage. And I mean, I'm not like a people hater type of thing, but listen, I'm too busy to talk to. I had my life when I was young. Now I'm at a point where I want to be left alone. Call me old man, whatever you want to call me. I want to be left alone and do my thing. So when I go online, when I go on my game, I don't want to go online. I don't even have subscriptions anymore. I think I have Xbox because I play APF online, but I don't want to deal with, the whole online thing. I'm over that stage. I want to go in there. I want to play and grind my way through the tours and make my way to the championship and become a Hall of Fame, major champion in golf. And that's what I want to do. And that game, I think, is more like the social aspect where you're walking around and you see a guy fishing or something. And if it's that kind of a game, please, I want out. I want a game where I can go in, do my thing, and get out of there on my timetable. But I'm also a different, generation, different responsibilities. So other people might want to sit there and hang out and make friends all day. That's just not me. Hopefully they have that option. If anybody knows if they have it, let me know, because I'm going to open it. I was going to open it and play it while I'm doing this show, but I can never do that for some reason because I'm still a newbie with this stuff. But Gonzo, do you have any comments on the by the way, we only got into our first 2 topics. We have 5 topics. I know, Gedden, I know you have to get out of here. I know that I'm running late tonight, but these topics we can save for next time. We have Nintendo Switch we wanted to talk about. We have thoughts on Devin Hester. All I can say real quick about Devin Hester is he was a bad dude. You did not want to punt to him. Teams, their strategy was to punt it out of bounds. But before we even wrap up or go, let's go over to Gonzo. You have anything you want to say about that last topic we mentioned, or anything else?
No, I'll just piggyback off what you said. Yeah, man, like me, myself, and most of the people I know, like young and old, nobody, I'm 36 years old, so nobody I know really wants to play online. Most people I know want to play their My Careers, or they want to play franchise mode. I mean, I'm a franchise mode type of guy. I can get into that. Don't get me wrong. Now, if it's different, if you can play like an online franchise mode with people that that's a little different. I could probably get into something like that. But like I said, for the most part, I really could care less. And half of the people that you're gonna meet playing online anyway, half of them are probably gonna talk so much crap, and they're just idiots. They're gonna play the game foolishly anyway, and then as soon as you get to beat them, they're gonna glitch the game.
I would say 90%. Sorry to cut you off. I would say 90% of the people that I play are idiots. You're going to get a cheese fest. And it's always, when I used to play online, it used to be just about my rank. But once you don't care about your rank anymore, there is no quality play or experience online unless you're playing with your boys. So you're right. 100% right. Good point.
Absolutely. Like I said, I feel the same way you guys feel concerning that. So,
sorry, fellas, but I got to go a little early tonight. But before I go, the Nintendo Switch sold 10 million units from when it was released in May or March. I forgot which month it was released, but that's insane that the Nintendo Switch has sold already 10 million units. Lifetime units of the Wii U was 13 million. So we're not even through a full year yet with the Nintendo Switch. You got Christmas coming up, and that's a huge, huge sales for gaming. So I could just imagine how much they're going to sell. And at this point, if if third-party companies don't want to make games for the Switch, you're just basically being dumb. All their games are selling well. The system is selling like crazy. So I just thought to throw that in there right quick, and maybe get a with that one, and then after that, I think I gotta bounce.
All right. Well, listen, enjoy your vacation. Thanks for coming on, Gedden. As always, we always love having you. You're part of the show. I always love doing this with you, man. And
Yeah, man.
Enjoy your vacation, bro. Are you going to be able to come on next week?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm here next week. Just the last week in December. I'm gonna be gone. I mean, Christmas is on a Monday. We didn't discuss if we're gonna do a show on that Tuesday, but I'm gonna be down south. I might be able to do a show, but my parents' Wi-Fi is god awful. I try helping them, but there's no helping that Wi-Fi. Oof. But yeah,
yeah, but you've been proven to do it outside of your house too. So you're not getting out of this one, right, man. I'll catch you in a car with your cellular phone if we have to. But I don't know what I'm doing either, man. I'm just messing around. We'll let you guys know if we're gonna have a show. But enjoy your vacation, man. Enjoy your trip. Have a safe trip, and have some good food, good drink, and hug your family, man. It's that time of year.
Yeah, man. Yo, Gonzo, it's a pleasure, man. First time I'm hearing your voice, man. I think you got to be a regular on the show too, man. We got so many people that come on the show, and I think that the people that we feature, it's golden. I think that a lot of people got a lot to share, and it's great that hopefully we can just kind of build our community up again instead of having it destroyed like it was before. So thanks for being on the shout out to everybody in the chat room. I think I saw Resolve. I think who I saw, but I saw a lot of people in there. Shout out to them. And again, Javo, thanks for having me. Thanks for doing the show, convincing me to do the show. Peace out, everybody. Please continue the show and do what you do. All right, peace out.
All right, man. All right. Peace. All right. So if anybody wants to jump on the show, I'm not going to be on for much longer unless we have more that we want to talk about, because it's getting late. But I'm always down. The Nintendo Switch, it came out in March, and it's been 9 months. I think they said on here that it's been out for, and it was I think it said the first unit to have sold. Let's see. It sold 7.63 million units globally through the end of September, and then through the end of November, it had reached the $10 million mark, which equates to I think it was at 300 a pop. It equates to, I think, $3 billion in revenue in 9 months on a system that doesn't really have, which is the next topic. It doesn't really have a lot of sports games. It has the Mario Kart. It has NBA 2K18. I was going to say 2K16 for some reason, 2K18. And then it has the WWE game coming out on the 6th, or just came out for 2K. But going back to what Gedden said, Gonzo, man, we would love to have you on for a full show. If you ever want to come on earlier, okay, cool. You can come on, because like he said, everybody that's come on so far, we've had Gideon Prime, Retro Resolve, J Rose, we had Giant Blue come on here. I don't want to miss anybody's names. And then we had you. And I think that's everyone that's been on the show. And if I'm missing Smitty, we had Smitty on. I mean, everybody that's been on the show has been, this is the community that we really are. These are the people that haven't really either have gotten tired of kicking and yelling, or they've moved on, or whatever the thing, or they're just, they don't want to go out there and say anything anymore, or whatever the case may be. This is an opportunity, and this isn't the only show. I mean, you guys can do your own show, and I'd love to be on, or be there. So this is an opportunity for us to get together and shoot these topics back and forth, and hopefully at some point somebody out there can hear us and get our voices heard at some level, because we need something better, and I hope we get something.
Absolutely. Like I said, I try to stress this to all the people I come in contact with, too, like Gideon. I mean, with you, I've been watching your show for a while now. Uh, Online Nation. You know, even on the Sim Hangouts with the Czar and Scott OG Gallagher, the developers from 2K. Like what we have to do now, we have to build a Sim community that actually kind of overpowers what the casual gamers are one right now, because they're winning the war, and I'm upset by it because it's disturbing the gameplay, and I'm hoping that the games become more we get more quality in the games, and I'm not seeing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're catering to people who really don't know anything about football. They're catering to people who know nothing about basketball, and they're giving them this. They're giving them everything that they ask for. They're getting. I'm tired of it. You know, and like I said, I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to get in contact with almost everybody I can. You know, the devs. I've even 2K. I've had problems with 2K, and I've had problems with 2K with videos where a guy dribbles the ball on the floor, he goes up for a layup, and I'm attempting to block it. He puts it back on the floor and dribbles and takes a step back for a jumper. He's already taken 6 dribbles
Mm-hmm.
and taking the ball off the floor and went back to dribbling. That's a travel. And I've sent that to devs, and there's no answer. But like I said, I need the sim community. We need more people behind us. So not only they're just hearing from us, they have to hear for every person. They have to hear at least 20 more behind that person.
Right.
So it's pretty much making the community strong. That's all, you know.
That's
So
what
we
it's
can get the
about.
games that we want.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's also the like you mentioned. Listen, I like every once in a while, like I've been doing it. I did it like once or twice this past week. I'll put a tweet out to Roger Goodell, to 2K. I'll just put this tweet that says we need a better game. Please give us a better game. And I'm just wondering, like, if all of us started to do that, and I know that we've had petitions that people haven't signed, and we've had Kickstarters and things that people really haven't supported. But if we tell your friend, tell your partner, tell whomever, tell your family, tell whoever you can to constantly tweet and send a message, our voices will eventually be heard. It has to happen. And, you know, I don't care if Roger Goodell never looks at his Twitter account. I'm one of 50 million people that tweet him, but I'm just thinking that anything that we could ever do to voice the fact that we feel like we're being mistreated, or we're being sold a product that is not up to our standard, and there's a monopoly being created out there as a result, we need to voice our opinion. This has been tried before, but you know what? It doesn't mean we should fail. We should stop, you know. And I don't know if there's going to be a game ever built. I hope there is. And like you're saying with NBA 2K18, NBA 2K18 is a game that has beat out the competition fair and square. But you still want a better product. You demand a better product, and that's what you should demand for the $60 plus that you spend every year on the game. You deserve a better product, and these people need to be aware that we're not going to settle for mediocrity. That's the bottom line. So I definitely appreciate all the things that you do and everybody out there in the community, and I think that we should not stop. If you care about this, if you're sick and tired of this game that we're getting every year, or you're sick and tired of the game that you have in NBA 2K18, voice your opinion, because the opinions, like we mentioned earlier, they care about the masses. And if our voices sprinkle in and what's the word, dribble in, or whatever the word is, to flood in, or thinking of a word, leak in, whatever the word, leak into the masses and in the mainstream, boom, there we go. We hit it. We got it. And Gideon Prime was on that track, and he was on that mission, and it just totally got, you know, exploded when he, you know, when they sent those guys out to EA. And on, like we mentioned last week, all the momentum, everything that we were going for, that the community was trying to shoot for, was really just tarnished at that point. And it was like, okay, now we have the sim standard in our house, and we've squashed that whole, you know, problem from growing. It's like they sprayed a weed killer, you know, we're the weed, and they sprayed it, and we're gone now. And that's really a major part of the reason why we're creating this show, Gonzo, is because we don't want just one show to be out there. We don't want just one place where you have an opportunity. I've called their show multiple times, and not to just talk about those guys or pick on them, but I've called their show and I've been muted. I've been taken off. I've been ganged up on in terms of, oh, you don't get it. And they spin everything on you. And before you know it, you're like, okay, well, why am I even going to bother? But I know that there's guys out there like everybody. Lord's telling me he didn't get an invite, but let me tell him again. I emailed it to you. I emailed it to you, Destro. So check your email. But anyways, I'm going on a rant, man. I hate talking too much, so I know I do it a lot, but feel free to share your piece on that, Gonzo.
Oh no, I mean you're absolutely right. Like I said, I think that you're right about that. Just because, the main thing is too, what we have to be really careful about is that when you're building a sim community, you got to be kind of careful about, and you have to kind of weave out the people that claim to be sim, but really they're casual gamers, because that's something that's really been happening too. That's in the 2K community. It's always been in the Madden community. People claim that they want simulation, but once they get in the door and they get like I said, invite from EA, or it seems like they've been cool with devs, then the first thing they do is they start changing their perspectives. They start watering down their expectations. They're expecting the game to be this, then after a while they listen to the devs and they hear this. This is one thing I realized about the devs. I'm gonna give you an example. That's better for me. The devs you'll tell you one thing. You'll tell them like, well, how come like last year in NBA 2K, after they patched it the first time, you couldn't cross anybody over. Even the guys with these so-called ankle breaker badges, you couldn't cross people over. Roy Hibbert could keep up with Russell Westbrook. Somebody like Dwight Howard could keep up with a Kyrie Irving. And I said, watch. I said, they're going to change that next year. I told everybody. Everybody said, oh, man, you're crazy. No, you don't know what you're talking about. They all blasted me because they said I was just pretty much a nut. I said, watch, this next year when they make the new edition, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to dribble. You're going to be able to dribble and get past everybody, and they're going to eliminate defense. This year, that's what they've done. They've added more dribbling, and they've completely eliminated defense. So what these gaming companies doing, they're taking stuff out and they're putting stuff back in. And once we complain about that, or we say something about that, or they get the masses to complain about it, they take something out, instead of just balancing it out. And then the devs will tell you, well, it's all a process. Give us a few more years. Now, I've heard devs say that it's going to be a process. Give us a few more years and we're going to fix this. Now, I'm hearing this from back from 2K12 and you hear from Madden's in the past. Just give us a few more years. And 2017 is way past a few more years. And let's be honest, Madden isn't where it should be. NBA 2K isn't where it should be. It's almost like it's development talk. It's just to get you to, it's almost to persuade you to go in the opposite direction. And what dev companies do too, when you have somebody speaking too much of the truth, like Gedden Prime is always speaking the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And he has videos to back up what he's talking about. But you know what a dev will do? Dev will invite him to a group, to a meeting or to a chat. Same as EA probably would, or like EA Game Changers, they invite somebody to the chat and talk about what they don't like about the game. But they always got one or two guys there to silence him if he says something too bad or too harsh about the game that would eliminate sales. They silence him because they don't want him to get his point out, or they don't want him to expose the flaw that's in the game that everybody will notice, and it will detour people from purchasing the game. They're very strategic. That's why I say when they shut one channel down, we have to go to the next. We have to be even harder the second time coming at them. We can't just be light and just give up. You have to be able to resist what they're trying to do. And that's one bad thing. When I used to watch Sims, listen to Sims stand on YouTube, they were going in a great direction. Then all of a sudden they all just scattered abroad, and all of a sudden everybody has different ideas, and people are linking up with EA, and it's like, hold on, like wait. We start off as a community to stand against this corporate corporate gaming world. We're standing up for something that we want to be better. We're standing up for something that we want to be fixed. And like I said, it's not happening because everybody breaks up and everybody wants their foot in the door with devs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do this because I like gaming. I don't do it because I'm trying to get in good with the devs. I could care less about coming out to team ups. I could care less about coming out to EA and playing the game. No, just fix the game good enough. Give me a demo and let me test it out. and persuade me to go purchase it. I don't have to come out there to play your game, because you can come out there and have me play a whole different game, because everybody went to EA Game Changer said Madden played totally different when they went to Game Changers. And the moment the game came out, it was nothing like they said it was. It said almost it took like 5 steps back.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, that's, you know exactly what happened with the history, man. And we all, the Sim Standard, when that name came out, at first, Apex was doing it big, and I think we have Lord Destro on, Jermaine. Let me see if I got him on here. Hold on. Can you hear me, man? You're on mute for some reason, and I don't know if you can hear us, or let's see if he can. It says he's muted, but I don't know how to unmute. Oh, there we go. All right, you there? Let me see. Hold on. This thing is not working with me. Hey, Destro, why don't you let me see if I can present you to everybody. Go ahead and talk.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
All right, I'm good now. I'm good. You unmuted me.
Yeah, you were just getting out of line, man. I had to shut you up for a little bit.
Oh, see?
How's it going, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just sitting here getting prepared for season 10 of the SFL.
Let me just stop you for a second, but let me hold on a second. So let me just introduce, and I know a lot of people here know who this guy is. Okay, this guy, let me just tell you something about him. He is probably one of the most hardcore. I think he might even have a APF stuffed animal with him when he goes to bed, because this guy does not play around, man. He has APF every day, everywhere. He's fully loaded on APF. He's tried to squeeze everything he can get out of it. He helps me test the editor. He helps me to research certain things. And I think we just lost Gonzo, so hopefully he didn't do that by mistake. But sorry to cut you off, Destro, but before you come on, I want to make sure everybody knows that this guy's a very integral part in everything that, a lot of things that have happened with the editor and all the things that we've been able to unlock with APF. He's a hardcore APF dude. This guy knows what real simulation football is about. And he also, he enjoys APF, and he won't go to Madden because he knows it's not the product that he's sought after. So, sorry to cut you off, man. But Lord Destro, welcome to the show, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. I've been listening for a few weeks, and we're all, most of the guys are fed up. I've got off. I hadn't been on Madden since the first one on PS2. I think I was one with Eddie George on it. At that time, I was store manager of Funcoland back when PS2 first came out on launch day. And I remember playing the game, and it was just like, what is this? It's like Pokemon graphics. This is back in 2002. I'm sorry, the year 2000. And I remember playing the game. I knew a guy that I was going to sell the PS2 to the very next day, the night before. And he said, yeah, go ahead and open up my machine. Go ahead and test it out, see how you like it. I'm like, well, what is this, And at first I thought maybe it's because I came from playing 2K and 2K1 on the Dreamcast. Maybe I was just conditioned or indoctrinated or something. But you realize throughout the years, there's been exceptions. 2004 was okay. And I liked that, the one with Michael Vick on the cover. But it was just, I looked at it as like, this is, I'm not impressed. This is not what, this is what happened. Madden was the bomb back in IBM, Genesis, Super Nintendo days. Madden 64 on the N64, that was good. Madden on the PlayStation 1. And it was like, it was good. Then all of a sudden, they went over to PS2, and I just like, what happened? And it's like, the video I made about, is Madden really that bad? Because I don't play it, and, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's the cool thing to just jump on the anti-Madden bandwagon. I'm trying to give Madden the benefit of the doubt. But it's like, read the comments, like, nah, man, this game is really bad. It's not, you just gotta play it. You don't play it, we do, and it's straight garbage. It's whack. And so, I pretty much, like LeVar Ball said, stay in your lane. That's what I do. I stay in my lane. I don't touch that game at all. I stay with APF 2K8. I've been hacking this thing since 2010, over 7 years now. and I just continue to I just continue to squeeze the blood out of the rock. And I still think there's something in this game that we haven't discovered. I know it. Now and then I'll go into the hex and I'll look at all these symbols and letters. And, for the past, I was guessing. I didn't know what I was looking at, but I've always been very good at figuring out patterns just throughout, school and other things. And there's something in there. I don't know what it is. Maybe Javo can help me. And then all of a sudden we figure something out, or I type in something random. We discover a play action motion or a throwing motion, or, where something else is located. So this is what, that's just what I do, man. I worry about this game. I don't consider myself Madden, and that's unfortunate. But I won't say it's the hatred towards Madden. It's more or less of kind of. Well, I'll take that back. It was somewhat. It was a hatred of Madden. It's like, how could you take the license away from us? Once you just be competitive, make a better product, hire the best people. 2K hire the best people, and you go head to head like WCW and WWF was back in the day in wrestling. That's how it should be.
Oh yeah.
So EA basically did what Vince McMahon did to WCW in 2001. He bought a competition. And that's basically what happened here. You bought wherever happened, either they went to NFL or NFL went to them and said, "Hey, either way, we missed out." Instead of having competition, what it should be, that brings out the best in both companies. Now we have one company who has monopolized everything, and this is where the point to where you've got someone for the last 7 years who's trying to squeeze a rock out of a 10-year-old game. And to my personal opinion, none of us should have to do that. But you know what? If that's what we have to do to play simulation football, authentic simulation football, yes, APF has flaws. It's not perfect. I'll be the first one to say this. That's irrefutable. But, you just – that's what we're doing now. We have to squeeze the blood of a rock just to play good football, and it's unacceptable. But it is what it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know how I am, man. Every time something comes up with APF, I get hot on it, or I'm cold on it in terms of modding, and I'm always interested in unlocking new things. And I've been working on something, and Destro knows what that is, and maybe we'll have a show about it when later on or something. But there's all sorts of things that you can do in APF that are just, there's no other game that does it that well. And yeah, like you said, it's not perfect. It's like you have this, it's almost like Backbreaker in a sense, where you have like a slice of what you it could be, and in a fully flushed out game. But I'm always seeing new animations that just pop up out of nowhere. And like you said, there's always something that just we either unlock it, or you play it so much that something new just pops out. But the way the characters move, the way that they interact with the sidelines, like we mentioned last week, the way that the guys just get up and the way they push each other, and just everything about that game on the field, if you look at the gameplay on the field, it is such a step ahead of the competition. And that game was made in 2007. I mean,
speaking, yeah, you're right. And speaking of animations, it's like I remember like 2.5 years ago. I remember just doing season 4 of the SFL, and the Baltimore Crabs were playing some team, and I never all the years at that time was 8 years played the game. I never saw his animation. There was a situation where the quarterback handed the ball off to the running back, and the running back got hit in the backfield, and so the quarterback, his own teammate, got mad at his own halfback. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but instead of helping him up, he steps over his own running back as if, "Man, fool, what's wrong with you, man? You're supposed to break that tackle. Why did they let that guy tackle you?" He stepped over him like he was nothing and walked away back to the huddle. And you see the running back get up, look at him like, how is that possible? I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever seen an animation, but when we first saw that, it was like, what? Once again, this game has so many little hidden gems in it, which makes it look better than Madden.
Yeah. Hey, Gonzo, I saw you came back on, man. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Absolutely.
All right, cool. What are your thoughts on APF, man?
You know what? I played APF one time, and honestly, it's a step above NFL 2K5. It's so far ahead of what Madden is now, for people that have played in NFL 2K5 or APF, it's hard for them to go back and play games like Madden because just Madden is just so far behind. Madden is actually a terrible game if you want to be honest. Like Madden sucks. Like Madden really does suck. I've seen animations uh where I'm play action passing and the linebacker falls for the play action. Now I'm rolling to the right. I'm gonna roll to the right. So I play action and the linebacker runs all the way to the left. So I roll out to the right. Now all of a sudden the linebacker kind of like just slides over to the right to make a tackle. So I go look at the replay and I zoom in on Madden. I zoom in on the linebacker who had food on the play action pass and the rollout. Now, when I zoomed in, his legs he had actually walked to his right, which was my left. But the moment I did a bootleg, it wasn't like he actually had to shift his momentum to turn back to his left, which was going to my right. He didn't even shift his legs. His legs just warped. Like his legs it's like his legs twist around completely and he just slid to the right. It's like he made no real foot plant. He made no real change of direction. His legs just warped in the opposite direction. He slid all the way to the right to make a tackle.
Yeah, it's
Madden is an awful game. It's
awful.
Terrible.
It's awful. You know what? But you know what sucks is that like it sucks for me because I mean, it sucks for all of us. But what I was gonna say is that since I'm making a game, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but I'm making a football game. It's a 2D game. If you guys watch my videos, you know it's nothing you're not going to grab it and say, oh, this is the best game compared to APF. No, it's not even anywhere competing against that because I have feelings about that, by the way, from the indie community. Why they shouldn't be making a game that's going to compete against APF or Madden because I think it's just way too hard to get to, but I'm hoping for those guys. But that's another topic, I guess. But what I was going to say is that the reason why I feel bad is because I know how hard it is. I'm doing this for a very scaled down version of a football game. And it's very difficult. Like this stuff's not easy. That's where I get into the talent that 2K has. 2K has some talented people. And the games that they have made with All Pro Football and 2K5, those games were you don't just walk in and push a couple of buttons on your keyboard and the game's built. No, those games are doing things that it's not just, like I said, it's the talent. Like these guys are creatively talented when it comes to making these games, and they know what they're doing. So it's just a better product, a better design, a better engine, and all that stuff is not easy to do, especially when they've been building it for years, like they say. But that game is second to none in terms of the gameplay on the field, and there's a reason for it. And all I'm trying to say is that the bar is very, very high, and it's very difficult. Like right now, I'm trying to get a kicker in my game to literally run an animation where he kicks the ball at the right time, and I have to figure out the distance between him and the ball and the game's actual frames per second. And there's all this geometry and vectors and math that go into it that it will blow up your mind for a little simple game. So these guys, I give credit to these guys. They're making C++ type of games. They're using a lot of trigonometry, geometry, math that I don't ever want to look at again in my life. And but that's what's behind. And you think about it, it's like when you play a game. I know you're laughing, and it's funny because when you play a game, building a game and developing a game, just like with the hexing, and this, Destro, hexing a game or coding a game is a total opposite end of the spectrum as compared to playing a game. It's like two different worlds. It's like there's not even any comparison. There's not even any relationship. And when you think about the guys that are making these games, they are mathematicians. They are brainiacs. They are people that know how to do AI and crazy, calculations on the fly. Those are very talented people that build these games that we just want the guy to throw a wobbly pass. We want to be able to throw route passing. Well, you know what? Those guys have to figure out crazy formulas and mathematics to get this stuff done. So I'm not giving EA a pass. I'll end here. I'm not giving EA a pass. what I'm saying is that this stuff is really hard to do, and we had a company that was doing it really, really well, and they got shut down. And then now we're stuck with mediocre talent putting out games for the masses, and we are where we are.
And see, that's where my issue was. I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, I called the sim standard. I remember, I think it was either them or the caller after me. They disagreed. They felt that the comparison I made was, how come you see movies back in the day? You watch Star Wars in the 70s and 80s, and then you see the not the, like they'll say, the episodes 1, 2, and 3. You see how they were better than the previous Star Wars. Now you see the Star Wars that are coming out now, all the Marvel movies. You see now the comic movies look better now than the corny ones from back in the day. So it's like, how come in any other industry you see progression, but you have a game, you see that there's a little progression, but it's almost like for something that you take a step or two forward, you take 4 or 5 steps back into something else. And it's like, to me, I've always said this, you can have all the bells and whistles in the world. You can have little things that help out and get a little extra incentive in the game. But at the end of the day, it comes down to beating the person in front of you. If the basics of the gameplay, the fundamentals aren't there, then you're just wasting your time. I would rather have a bare bones game with the basics, but the gameplay is great and it's smooth and it's realistic as best you can. I would rather have that than having, you can, sell hot dogs and adjust prices. I don't have time for that. I'm 41 years old. That's just dumb to me, But that's just how I feel about it. And I don't know. I can go on and on about the whole thing. That's just why I pretty much it gets you irritated. Like, I heard you got frustrated 2 weeks ago. We talked to Smitty, and I can see it because I can feel it because it's like, they have potential. They can do it. It's like a child. They have the potential to do great, but for some strange reason they won't follow your advice. They won't listen to you, and they just do what they want versus just listen to the community. And there's a balance. You don't have to go all sim. You don't have to go all arcadish. You can have a little balance. Even all pro. There's a little bit. It has a little arcade feel to it, a tad bit, but it's mostly sim. But there's a little balance in that game. They can have balance in Madden, but they just don't. But we all understand why that's the case because they have to cater to the people who are spending the money, unfortunately.
That's right. The masses, and we should have you on another show. Gonzo, you're always welcome back, man. You're, like we said, everybody we get on here, Destro, another, I know you very well, at least, from what we've talked. And so I know you're a cool dude, and you know a lot about this stuff. So, you're always welcome here anytime, just let me know. But this
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. This is why we're here, and this is why we're doing this, because we want a better product. We want to just have a place where we can chat. We're guys that don't want, like you mentioned, just real quick, you mentioned that movies have gotten better, and the technology. If you look at Madden real quick, the graphics are great. That game has beautiful graphics. I mean, they don't have the best player likeness at all. Like, you look at a guy's face and it doesn't look anywhere near the guy's face, but that's a whole nother story. So they have improved in terms of they're taking advantage of the technology in terms of graphics and things that they can do, but they're not doing it on the field at all. All pro football had lower tech, and from that perspective, you're 100% dead bullseye on it, Destro. So
it's the thing. You look at one last. I don't mean to harp on. I just want to say this: like, you can go back and for example, APF is based on abilities, but each and every player, they have their own little uniqueness to them. Barry Sanders, little scat back. We know how elusive Barry Sanders was back in the day. People who saw him play in real time. And people. Maybe if you're, real little, you're 5 years old, you saw Earl Campbell, the end part of his career. You saw how, if you didn't see it in live, you saw on YouTube how he just bulldozed people, made guys fly like Mortal Kombat characters. You see that, displayed in APF. You see, different throwing motions, the old school, because remember back in those days, baseball was still the king in America. So a lot of guys back in those days, like Otto Graham, Len Dickey, Johnny Unitas, they threw the football as if they were throwing a baseball. That's why they had that unique, weird throwing motion. And what do you know? APF replicates that. And so it's like, you mean to tell me on a machine, on an Xbox 360, what, 2 generations ago, on a game that's 10 years old can do this, but on this day and age, in 2017, going on 2018, you mean to tell me with a straight face that these companies cannot do the same or get close to it? And to me, the answer is they don't want to. It's not an issue of can't, it's an issue of won't. And that's all I'll say.
Well, listen, man, you ended it off on a perfect note, man. That was summed up very well, man. Awesome. That was great.
Thank you.
That was great because it's exactly right. I can't say anything, man. I'm speechless. Any last words from the panel here? I know we've switched around. Gedden was on, you guys are on. We really appreciate you guys. Like I always say, I can't say it enough. And I don't say it because I don't just say it just to say it, man. I say this because this is what I've always wanted. I just want a place where we can all talk, and we can talk with a free voice, and we can talk reality, not talk put the wool over people's eyes and make them think and spin things all day. No, we're talking reality. Everything that comes out of this channel right now and this show is 100% the truth. What you just said was the truth, period. So Gonzo, you have any last words before we get off this thing? I got to get rolling, but thanks for jumping on, guys, for real. Appreciate it.
I just want to shout out to you, man. Good show. Shout out to Gedden. Shout out to Distro, man. Hey, we got to keep grinding and just keep pushing out, you know what I'm saying? Chatting and keep bringing stuff to light, man. And getting our voices heard, man. Keep the community strong.
Awesome. And Destro, what do you have? Anything before we go?
I just want to thank you for having me on for a few minutes at the end of the show, toward the show, and just want to thank all the guests for coming in, for stopping by. I want to thank all the people who came into the chat, who consistently come in each and every week. Please spread the word, and this is, like you said, it's all about getting together and having our voices heard. We're not trying to speak over people. We're not trying to, show favoritism. We're not going to, basically, how on some other shows to where it's our way or the highway. It's not going to be that way. That's one thing I will respect somebody because he came on the show 2 years ago and I was shocked to even see him on the show. But I was like, you know what? He seemed my type of cat. He's going to face the music. He's going to hear it. And I respect that, So I say great show as always and look forward to next week. Thank you.
Yeah, much respect to Smitty as well. I agree. He always has good things to say about you. He always calls you out in a good way on his show. So there's something you've done to him in a positive way. And I think it's because you stay in your lane and not because you're being forced to. It's because you do what you like and you keep moving and you speak the truth. And I think he respects that. So I got to hand it to him on that. I could tell you guys that our voices are being heard. The numbers on this show are increasing every week. And we're getting more and more popular. If you guys want to share these links, if you want to share this show, do it, man. Tell everybody and tell them they can come on. You guys can come on. This isn't about me. If you guys want to host a show one week, go for it. I'm just doing this because I want you guys and us to have a better game. That's the bottom line. And I'm sick and tired of hearing shows that don't speak the way we speak here. And I want to hopefully bring on guests that are developers. I want to bring on the guys who built APF. I want to bring on people that from EA if they want to come on here. So we're going to have more shows. We're going to have more content, and this show is growing. So word up to you, Apex. Word up to everybody. Retro, thanks for coming on. All you guys in the chat, we're seeing you. We're watching you. Gonzo, really appreciate you coming on. Destro, again, I appreciate you. And we're out. Peace. Listen to the podcast. It's on Stitcher, on YouTube. You guys can catch it. Until next time, we're going to be here next week. Same time, same channel. Peace.
Peace.